experience that I've got. No, most people seem to be against me, but that doesn't bother me in the slightest. No, I'm here to try and play snooker and win snooker matches and hopefully win my first major tournament. Whether I get good press or bad press, that's not going to make any difference to me.
Mark Allen is becoming one of the most frustrating players to deal with in snooker right now. Whether it's his tactical approach or the way he's handling the latest World Grand Prix decision, he's making his presence impossible to ignore. But what exactly is it that's making him so irritatingly effective? What's keeping him at the center of attention? Allen is never one to shy away from an opinion, and this time he's got a serious bone to pick with the tournament entry rules. With the World Grand Prix about to kick off in Hong Kong, Allen has made it clear that he's not happy with how last-minute replacements are being handled. But why does Allen think the system is unfair? The tournament, now hosted at the brand new Kai Tak Sports Arena, follows a strict qualification rule, where only the top 32 players from the one-year snooker rankings get a spot in the draw. It sounds simple, but it's actually quite not. When unexpected withdrawals happen, things get tricky. The system is supposed to reward consistency, but when players pull out, it raises questions about whether the replacements are truly fair or just a quick fix. Just days before the event, the lineup took an unexpected turn when two top-ranked players, Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Maguire, withdrew due to health reasons. This led to the event organisers scrambling to find replacements, bringing in Hossein Vafai and Ben Wollaston, who were ranked 33rd and 34th. That's where Allen's frustration comes in. He doesn't have anything against Vafai or Wollaston personally, but in his eyes, they didn't make the cut. If they weren't ranked in the top 32, why should they suddenly get a chance at prize money and ranking points just because someone else dropped out? Allen compared it to the World Championship scenario. If the top 16 automatically qualify for Sheffield and one of them withdraws, does number 17 suddenly get a free pass? He doesn't think so. O'Sullivan's absence is a particularly big talking point. The defending champion has barely played in 2025, and his last tournament appearance ended with him losing 4 out of 5 games before dramatically snapping his cue in frustration. Meanwhile, Maguire had only just squeezed into the top 32 with a strong run at the Welsh Open, only to withdraw before even getting a chance to play in Hong Kong. Allen believes they earned their right to be in the tournament, and now they walk away with nothing, while two players who didn't qualify get a shot at ranking points. Normally, ranking events have strict rules about player replacements, that if someone withdraws, they can only be swapped out at the very start. For example, when Ronnie O'Sullivan pulled out of last week's World Open, his spot was handed to Daniel Womersley, since he was supposed to play from the very first round. But things aren't always so simple. In other tournaments, like the Home Nations events and the German Masters, players who were set to face O'Sullivan in later rounds didn't get replacements. They just got a free pass to the next stage. And now, with the World Grand Prix, there's a debate about whether the same logic should apply. After all, while no actual matches have been played yet, the qualification process technically started months ago. Snooker players had most of the season, over 2/3 of it to be exact, to gather enough ranking points and secure their spot in the World Grand Prix. It was a long road, with plenty of matches and lots of pressure to perform. But despite all that, here we are with a bit of a twist. Hossein Vafai and Ben Wollaston, who didn't quite make it into the top 32, have now found themselves in the tournament anyway, thanks to some last-minute withdrawals. And the best part is, just by showing up in the last 32, they're guaranteed a nice £10,000 payday. While other players fought tooth and nail all season for their ranking, these two are now walking into a big tournament and getting paid handsomely for it, without having to go through the usual grind. It's not their fault though. The rules allow it, and if an opportunity comes knocking, you don't turn it away. With the World Grand Prix now being held in a massive new venue that can fit 4,000 people, organisers want every match slot filled. WST broadcasters and local fans definitely wouldn't be happy if they turned up just to see an empty table and a guy in a suit announcing a walkover. And for Hong Kong, a city that hasn't hosted a ranking snooker event since 1989, every match counts. Allen, never one to stay quiet, took to social media to say that the way replacement players were brought in didn't sit quite right with him. He pointed out that they could still compete for prize money but wouldn't get any ranking points, which didn't seem entirely fair. That way, fans would still get their matches, broadcasters wouldn't lose coverage, and the qualification process would stay fair. He even suggested just letting the original opponent move forward instead of bringing in a replacement. Meanwhile, Vafai and Wollaston are set to face Zi Xiahui and Shaun Murphy in their opening matches. After getting an unexpected second chance, the pressure's on to prove they deserve their spots. And as for Alan, the former World Grand Prix champion kicked off his own campaign against Jimmy Robertson on March the 5th, with his eyes set on another title run. But while the tournament gets underway, there's no ignoring the absence of O'Sullivan. The Rocket hasn't played since early January, skipping multiple events and leaving fans wondering if he's taking a break until the World Snooker Championship in April. He admitted he was disappointed to miss out, saying he had worked hard for a return, but ultimately had to prioritise his health. He also thanked fans and organisers for their support, which is classic O'Sullivan, disappearing mysteriously but still keeping the fans hooked. Interestingly, his withdrawal comes after he recently called for World Snooker to introduce a welfare officer for players. He pointed out that in football, athletes have masseuses and medical staff, while snooker players are often left struggling alone. His idea is to hire a dedicated person at tournaments for players to talk to if they're mentally or physically drained. After all, snooker might not be a contact sport, but it's a high-pressure game that can take a serious toll. So, what do you think? Is Alan being real with his frustration? Should the tournament rules be stricter about last-minute replacements? Or is this just a case of making the best out of an unexpected situation? That's a wrap for this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more snooker updates. See you in the next one.